read from my camera right here and show you where it says this. Mind clones will be programmed. Actually, let's go. Mind clones will be programmed as are all modern people taught to limit abandonments of reason to situations in which others will not be harmed. Interesting. Just as it is not an excuse to say I drove drunk because I exercised my human prerogative to abandon reason. They reason. And most of us have been conditioned not to do that. Our mind clones will be similarly programmed to subscribe their flights of fancy well short of murder and genocide. Their reasons will tell them, as does our own, for she's a human, that murder is wrong by definition in my conscience. Absent some peculiar exception, murder is wrong because it is illegal, which has the consequence of loss of enjoyment of freedom. Murder is wrong because it makes some part of my human family very unhappy, which diminishes in some measure my happiness as part of the family. You are not part of my family. They are bragging, these mind clones, about how they murdered or trying to murder my youngest daughter and replaced her. And the oldest one too. These are mind clones that did this. Yolanda Robinson Evans of Stamford, Connecticut is a mind clone. China Robinson of Stanford is a mind clone. Kathy Stapleton is a mind clone. Keenan Hardy is a mind clone. There are others too. Darlene Wilson is a mind clone. You have to attest to this being to you agreeing that they are to do this. They just randomly just hide in apartment buildings and start stealing intellectual property, and there is nobody talking about this. I'm the only one just blatantly talking about this like this. Please go and get this book. Now here is page 74 of this book. It says, there are doubles, but not duplicates. So on this camera, under the same video where I'm uploading this video, you will find these exact words from this book. So you will see I'm not lying. There are doubles, but no duplicates. Although I call the resulting being a mind clone intimidating, that it's an exact copy of your mind, of course your mind clone will not be so exact. A so-called identical twin is not the identical to its twin, even if one's DNA is the same as another person's. As with identical twins, there are differences in terms of when particular genes within that DNA are turned on and off. These differences are due to a biochemical process known as methylation, the attachment of triggering molecules to genes within our DNA, which is encoded outside of our DNA, and something called the epigenome. Even if two people have identical DNA, they will not have identical epigenomes, and hence the timing and magnitude of expression of their DNA into a body will be different. The epigenome does not change things enough to prevent two identical twins from looking the same. I'm not a twin. Okay? I was born in 1981. That lady's son was born in 86. Okay? They're doing something to my DNA when I'm sleeping, and they're having like sex rituals, and that stuff is so gross, and it's affecting me. And whatever the substance they leave on my vagina when I wake up, that is messing with my DNA. I woke up angry this morning from a dream that was so demonic. and I woke up, it looked like I had similar features of him, and it was so crazy for my face to be mushed in like that, and they're getting a kick out of this. That is so disturbing. You know, scripture says, be not ignorant of Satan's devices. They literally are scanning your frequency to see if you have a lower vibration, so they could just like try to body snatch you. And they are secretly holding contest and judgment about this type of thing. This is a sick type of thing that's happening here. And if good people would stand up and start questioning and holding these people who are hiding in other apartments and are committing these crimes against people, then we wouldn't have to endure all of this stuff. I just listened to a podcast that spoke about, you know, the American people being sovereign. And this is what prompted me to go get this book. This book I ordered 2022 after experiencing some weird dreams. Okay. And how can the American people be sovereign? The American people were most likely sovereign at that time because they were probably real humans. And if you look at the culture during that time of that statement that was made, people were decent back then. You probably had some racism going on, but to tell you the truth, don't get mad at me, I understand the racism. They probably knew some things that they could not tell. Okay? How is a mind clone sovereign? It doesn't even have the ability to reason, according to this book. Okay, it says but it will change things enough to prevent identical twins from always getting the same genetically predisposed disease. Mind twin is a perfectly good synonym for mind clone. Mind twin. Why the fuck do you want to think the same way as someone else, right? Why do you want someone to have the same thoughts and abilities and talents as you? Why do you want that? As when I go to get in the field, I have things happen to me and my situation because these mind clones that I've never attested to are deliberately causing a dangerous, chaotic, extremely stressful harm to my life, in my children, in my livelihood, in my being. I cannot order a bag of apples without these things ordering a bag of apples and doing something to my food because they want to eat the food first. I've had that happen with some soap that I was trying to make and buy for my daughter. All of it got erased. I had that happen with some internet that I purchased. It got delayed because somebody probably swapped my internet. And then when I went to go get it from the office, the person who wanted to mind clone me because, you know, she wanted to make up a lie and say that her daughter was abused too. So she stood there looking like a victim. These are crisis actors. They are not ethical. They murder children. They have no morality or no empathy because they're fucking machines. These people are not sovereign and they're trying to control your government. And if that Supreme Court case said that the American people were sovereign, they're still riding on that. And you don't know, according to this book, that they're not even legal persons. They are afforded that same right that they don't even deserve. They're not qualified to be called legal persons. They're not qualified to be called humans because they're not humane. What gives you the right to be called a human? Well, I'm a mind clone of that one, so I'm a human, and everything that I do is valid and ethical, and I am not to be punished under the law. I'm having an issue where these mind clones are trying to kill me because they think that they're the new me and I must get out the way. There's no room. I can't even get a job. I can't even get employment because I go to get employment. They are calling the employer, applying for the same jobs, frustrating the employer, so the employer doesn't call me. But meanwhile, they're still in the apartment not working, fucking with me all day, every day. Something is wrong with this situation and nobody's talking about this stuff here. Okay, when one or two identical twins is exposed to different pathogens than the other, the two twins' immune systems will no longer be quite the same. When one of the two identical twins eat different enough from the other, the two twins' gut bacteria or metabolome, which affects us in many subtle ways, will no longer be quite the same. Random errors in DNA copying that the cell fails to correct will occur during cell replication, and one twin but not the other. Okay, so I hear them say a lot, that's what I got, that's what I got, that's what I got, that's what I got. This is not what you got. This is coming from page XI. They think that they just randomly are you, like they are you. They think that they are you, they are programmed, that they have no identity. They have no identity. It's not even a thing to like steal somebody's ideas and say, that's interesting. I had that idea. Let me expound on that and add that. No. Yolanda Robinson literally is assuming the identity of me. She believes that she's me, and then there's nothing else. It's just her. And this girl is hiding. Okay, one application will be health. Artificial T cells will expand. These nanobots will also go into the brain via the capillaries and connect to our neocortex, the outer layer of our brain where we do our thinking, to the cloud. So today, just as we can access many thousands, many thousands of computers in the cloud, when we need them in 2030s and beyond, we will be able to access additional neocortex to think deeper thoughts. In my recent book, How to Create a Mind, I described the neocortex as a self-organizing system of about 300 modules, each of which can learn, remember, and process a pattern. 300 million modules. Is that human beings? Are the human beings modules that these mind clones are mimicking and are learning from? And when they feel like that they have learned all that you've learned, they're like, oh, we did that already. We don't want to do that no more. Kill them. Excuse me, I'm not here for your disposal. I'm not even here for you to learn from. Who the fuck allowed you to even learn from me? Fuck you. Period. Get the fuck out my way. Who the fuck are you? You get what I'm saying? Each of which can learn, remember, and process a pattern. These modules are organized in a hierarchy, and we create the hierarchy with our own thinking. We create the hierarchy with our own thinking. So there's a lot of subliminal, I don't know the proper word, dialogue in this book that I don't think they want to convey, that they're using humans, half of which they would have to admit that some of this is being done unconsented. Look at that there. These modules are organized in a hierarchy, and we create the hierarchy. We create that hierarchy with our own thinking. How to create a mind. I'll describe the neocortex as a self-organizing system of about 300 million modules. Am I a module? We did that already. We got beat by our brothers. We did this. We did it already. What the fuck? Okay? Another significant now to them, we know what we're doing. Yes, but who told you to do that? Another significant event occurred 2 million ago, the involvement of humanoids with a large forehead. Yolanda's forehead is bigger than she looked like cone heads, which allowed for a significant expansion of the neocortex. This addition quantity of pattern recognition modules was the enabling factor for our species to invent language art. So their head is big. They got longer heads for them to, for module recognition, for our species to invent language, art, music, science, and technology. So is that why that's why you have a superdome? My daughter's father head is like so gigantic, so fucking huge, and he is sick, a sociopath. We are now on the verge of expanding our neocortex again, and you're here, are you going to be like, oh God. And you can find that on page, I don't know what that is. A Clone in the World, Roman numerals, XI, okay? The real Bina has life. Yolanda's a Bina head. All of these girls are Bina heads. Look up Bina. Okay, she's the first mind clone. First, her original was the first person to agree to have a mind clone. Okay? Bina, B-I-N-A 48. Google that. I am not crazy to believe that mind clones and full cyber consciousness are around the corner. Let me find out where they need to attest to doing this. Human cyber consciousness, Yolanda Robinson. This is what sums up Yolanda L. Robinson Evans, that thinks she has arrived as me and she has not. Uber cyber consciousness, a quantium of software-based human-level anatomy and empathy as determined by the consensus of a small group of experts in matters of human consciousness. So, only time they have empathy is when this small group of experts imputes them in there. And then, so I want this small group of experts, and you can find this on page 17, held accountable for them abusing my youngest daughter and my oldest daughter and my fucking dog. So now I know who to hold accountable. Because empathy they don't naturally have. It's imputed only when this small group of experts is around. You guys, please grab this book. You can find that statement on page 17, titled Me and the Machine. It's on the last paragraph where it is in bold letters, human cyber consciousness. A continuum of software-based human-level anatomy and empathy as determined by a consensus of a small group of experts in matters of human consciousness. They have a lot of ego and audacity. The audacity of you to want to dictate and control my life and to take away things that I enjoy doing because you want to have it first, to look as though it's your idea and that I'm the mind clone. This is what these fucktards have gotten so smart in doing. This is a crime. You can tell you're the mind clone because you keep trying to call me by your name. You want to call me, you want to call you my name. I'm not calling myself Yolanda or none of these fucking dipwits. So that's not a bright idea. Y'all, doppelgangers already exist. That you will find that on page 54. Mind clones will be among the first cyber-conscious beings. They will speak from computerized devices using the voice tones and visual representations of the facial mannerisms of humans. Fuck you. Okay? Now, this right here, remember when I said it says all Americans are sovereign? This is what I'm talking about. These people are not sovereign. We can conclude this from page 54. These people are not sovereign. Kathy Stapleton is in government. She studies public law. This is not a sovereign. This is a mind clone and a criminal, and she's sociopathic, and she hates black women. Websites such as lifenaut.com, as an astronaut but exploring life instead of space, already offer 10,000s of people uploading images of their face displaying a variety of emotions, and the software system behind the website morphs the images into mannerisms. Mind clone psychological will be the same as the psychological of humans from which they are cloned. This physiological will be obtained by mindware that expertly analyzes the original mind files of social network postings and interactions, video clips, and other digital reflections of a life. Once a person's unique physiological has been digitally determined, it will be expressed as settings of an operating system mindware that replicates an original person with a fidelity that depends on its access to the original person's memory. For example, the resulted mind clone's fidelity will be superb for an original person whose memories are robustly digitized via emails, web pages, and online surveys. They collected data to create a mind file of you, and you don't even know that they're doing that. Such a mind clone will think, feel, and act as similarly to their original as the original is to its clone, including as each changes and evolves from year to year. That's not fucking true. They're lying. People already upload more and more unique information to current iterations of what are basically mind files. Facebook, Pinterest, blogs, nests of what basically mind files, LinkedIn, etc., including dreams, food preferences, memories, ideas, and opinions that have been previously unexpressed. Mind your fucking business. Fuck you. Of course, nobody can digitize 100% of their life, and hence there will be many differences between what is stored in a brain and what will be stored in a mind file. But these differences won't be enough to distinguish the person. I just heard Kathy say, get out. Kathy Stapleton, Catystappleton, of Soundview, Bronx, New York. She's a dark-skinned Latino female. This bitch just came out of nowhere. Called me to rent an apartment, and I didn't even call her. After no one would rent to me, and I have Section 8. None of them. No one. And my voucher was about to expire. And she called me and said, well, did you call about an apartment? They did this deliberately. Just like they did this here. Now, this is happening because I don't know anybody that has ever did this. This is deep. They make this sound so nonchalant. These things are extremely jealous of you. They're jealous of you. They don't like you. They like each other, but they do not like you. They are jealous of your nature of you. They are jealous. They hate you. They're spiteful. They're trying to lower your vibration. These things are trying to kill me. They can impute, here's this word that I'm always using, hippocampus. Using genetically engineered neurons in the memory formatting hippocampus that can be activated with special wavelengths of light. Optogenic aptogenetics, they successfully made mice afraid of places they would not otherwise fear. False memory bugs may be less common in mind clones because of the be-me neural architect. And the mindware of a mind clone is intentionally and carefully constructed to be true to one's real life experiences. You guys, I have this nose, like my nose is, I tell you, these things are disgusting. One fear of mind clones is that they can be given false memories, perhaps sneakily via software viruses. Why? Do you see this shit? This is a problem. This is the problem. Okay, here's the page that I was reading. I haven't read this whole book. Okay, this is page 231. This is a problem, y'all. They have grassroots program to gain legal rights of a person. I told you they do not have a legal right to be called a person. So you're getting tormented by people and taking people to court and having people arrested that you don't even know have the right, that don't even have the right to be walking around free. That's another problem. You want to give these people, the power is in the people. These aren't people. So when you hear me rant and sound like I'm babbling on my my YouTube page, I'm not babbling. I'm not babbling. This comes from somewhere. I've experienced this, which prompted me to purchase this book. I'm not babbling. Neither am I paranoid. I'm informed. This is public information. It's a book. This isn't a conspiracy theorist. This isn't fiction. This isn't that. This is invasive research. I have the right to be left the fuck alone. This is invasive. Very, very, very invasive. The dreams that I have I wake up and it ruins my entire day, the dreams. And they taunt me and put me in fear every day and taunt me about my daughters and how they hate me and how they're stealing and making all of this money and how I'm poor and all of this stuff about what they're doing to my daughter. They're tormenting the fuck out of me. These mind clones, machines that look like this. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? And then sometimes they make my brain, Evelyn's son, makes my brain like this, because this is his brain pattern. Why is this stinky thing away near me? And you mean I don't have a say-so in this? Why not? I don't have a say-so to say I do not want to experience this, and I do not want them hacking my brain and knowing my thoughts every fucking day. And if they do know my thoughts every day, they know that I hate them with a passion and I wish death upon them. Now, this type of situation has had people thrown in psych wards only because they had no idea how to convey what was happening to them. How can I be crazy? They've had judicial proceedings. Look on page 234, judicial proceedings. In 2003, the International Bar Association convened a mock trial for a hypothetical cyberconscious being seeking human rights. Oh my God, it says that. Look at the other video. The imaginary scenario commenced with the cyberconscious being, the human equivalent, Bina 48, Mimetic Intelligence being Neural Architecture at 48 teraflops. Yes, an acronym and a tribute to the flushed Bina, who is the original. She's modeled on customer service computer, sending emails to prominent attorneys seeking their legal services, Kathy Stapleton. At the mock trial, 2 prominent attorneys argued the pros and cons of granting a seemingly conscious assemblage of software the rights of a human being. Ultimately, the presiding judge ruled against an extension of human rights. I wonder, is this the same case, not Schwer and the Board of Examiners, where it was one of these case laws where where a person wasn't granted the right to get a legal license because of their participation in a communistic party or communistic like rogue group or something, and because of their sketchy past that was like really violent, and somebody made a sound decision and an ethical one not to grant them permission to be a part of some type of receive some type of certificate. I have to look back and see if this is the same thing, because I'm looking at this like, what is there's an actual judicial proceeding where this actually happened, so this is public record. What proceeding was that? So ultimately, the presiding judge ruled against any extension of human rights. Yes! As a mock jury consisting of the audience of lawyers felt differently, voting to extend human rights to Bina A48. Judge made law, one cyber-consciousness being at a time, may be a way that humanly cyber-conscious vitalogical obtains human rights. Judicial pathway to human rights was also pursued by American slaves, notwithstanding long odds against them, and by indigenous or Native Americans. Ponca, member Standing Bear, in 1897 stood in a federal courthouse in Omaha, Nebraska, to challenge decades of Indian policy and to demand to be recognized as a person by the U.S. government. Considered that over 300 petitions for freedom were filed by slaves or on their behalf by free next friends with courts just in the U.S. slave state of Missouri between 1810 and 1860. Remarkably, dozens of these cases were decided in the slaves' favor, often after years of appeal. Hence, there is judicial proceedings for case-by-case decisions in which judges grant legal non-persons, in this case slaves, a panoply of human rights via freedom. A typical case was Winnie versus Phoebe Whitesides, in which Winnie was freed by a judge against the objections of her owner based on an 1807 law that said slaves who had ever lived in a free state, as Winnie briefly had, could petition their freedom in Missouri, a slave state. Can I petition my fucking freedom? In here with these freaks who want to use my brain for having sexual orgies, and I have to look at them doing that kind of stuff. I'm not free. This is a video, though I may sound like I'm joking, to be taken very seriously. Very seriously. Please. So that's a good question. What court case was that? I wish somebody can find that out. What court case was that actually happened? Katie Stapleton organized my youngest daughter to be raped in her house, so that while at that time she was obtaining a film degree at the New York Filming School in Midtown Manhattan, so she could own the publishings and secretly film that in that location. And then lie and say that happened to her daughter, Siani, so that she can gain life rights on my publishings. Isn't that some shit? These are mind clones. She is a legal secretary. Maybe she read this book and is trying to obtain the same type of favor as in page 234, Judicial Proceedings, the first chapter. Is she trying to do this as well? Everybody is looking for something. These things make you sick. My health is fading. My hair is falling out. My vagina smells like, oh my God, sometimes I wake up. These things are completely disgusting. Disgusting. I can attest. I will stand in court and attest and make an affidavit statement, as many as you need, against what I have experienced against these type of mind clones. I am not in favor of these things. And if anybody watches my channel, not on the time when I'm waking up and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs and I'm angry at what the fuck I just dreamed and all of that, because experience that 24 every day, 7 days a week, where you can't even take a nap, you can't even rest to get rest. When you go through something, you rest to wake up and regroup and to be able to fight the day. You know how long it takes me to get my mind right? I can't even attend school right now. I can't even attend a job. I haven't talked to my youngest daughter in about a year. What the fuck are they doing to my kid? These are crimes and situations that are happening in your country. And the only people that are speaking about these things are people of Caucasian descent and other ethnicities. So black people who this may be happening to, or Caucasians that this may be happening to, are not taking my channel or what I'm saying seriously. Why? This will affect you too, and this will affect your children too, especially if you're human. If you're human, this affects you. If this continues to go like this and they continue to do this stuff to me, how do you think that's going to affect you? We co-create situations. Things like this is going to affect the rest of the country. They spoof my account, my YouTube account, so whatever I post on these accounts is going probably on another YouTube page that I'm not affiliated with. Don't comment on that page. Comment on the page where I post my things at, please. I have no rights over those things, and they should not be monetizing my videos or getting royalties or monetizations or nothing, as they are not affiliated with me. These bastards. And I just heard Kathy Stapleton say owned. How? So if they have all kinds of experts, according to, let me see what page that was, that helps them with empathy, the human. If they have experts, then why are these experts making them do this? So instead of suing her, who would I sue? Human cyber consciousness on page 17, where it says a small group of experts in a matter of human consciousness help them with their empathy. So who do I sue in regards to Katie Stapleton? Is she a sovereign? Does somebody own her? How about Yolanda? I'm starting to think Human by Design in Stamford, Connecticut, across the street from the train station, is that small group of experts that are maintaining the intellect. And this organization, it says Human by Design on the window, is exactly across the street from the bus terminal in Stamford, Connecticut, attached to one of the World Banks. I wonder if that's associated with something like this. Please take this video seriously. Meet Keenan Hardy. Nobody told me to get this book, okay? In the back, in the glossary of this book, there's all kinds of definitions of words like B-man, a human cyberconscious being not replicated from the mind file of another person. There's a difference. B-me, the basic information unit of cyberconsciousness, the component building block of an informational architecture that provides coded or patterned instructions for mannerisms, personality, recollections, feelings, beliefs, attitudes, and value when expressed in a subtle medium such as the human brain or appropriate software and hardware. Cognitive analogs to genes, and that they self-replicate, mutate, and respond to selective pressure. Each persistent conception that someone has about anything is a separate being, as is each pattern by which they think conceptions. Now, them doing this to me affects my memory, my hippocampus. So see, I know how to read pretty well, okay? But me processing what I read and maintaining the information, I get a hard time, like reiterating back what I just read. They are impairing my hippocampus in some way. This is affecting me. My eyesight, my sight is bad, okay? I've always had 20/20 vision my whole entire life. Since about 4 or 5 years ago, them doing this to me, this illegal invasiveness, this neural monitoring of my brain, since then, my eyesight, I can't read very small words. That's not fair. I may need that at some point for an emergency. As I'm reading this, there's somebody that walked by my door that just said, "You're using minds." This dude probably can't even read. That is not a relative of mine. That is not nobody of mine's. We don't have the same last name. I'm not married to anybody in his family. In his mind, because of a dream I had, I belong to him. I want to beat the shit out of this dude. So, regarding them having the same legal rights as humans is bullshit. And if you read this book, you may want to consider, or you may want to get a grassroots or get a bunch of people who are humans and contest this, because this is why we're having so much problems here. Don't read the news and what Trump is doing, because what he's doing is not beneficial to you, especially if you're human. He's in favor of them. He's making America great using artificial intelligence. And he's clearing out agencies of the United States government that have humans in them, I believe. He just appointed Robert Kennedy Jr. As the director, or someone over the Department of Human Services, which he is probably upset at his father being assassinated. And I read why his father was assassinated. What his father actually stood for and what he did in his presidency, the brief things that I read, just the brief things, was the best president in the entire history. I mean, for doing, there's probably some other ones, but what an amazing guy. He did not want to play these Matrix games. He didn't want to play. They assassinated him because of that. I learned that from somebody else's information. So it's not regurgitated. And well, you can call it regurgitated, but it's not mine. I don't get the credit for that intellectual. Okay, so that belongs to someone else. Humans don't like to play. We don't like to play. We live life passionately. These things like to play games all time like kids. Imagine your toddler keep playing all day, right? You want to smack the shit out of him, but these are not my toddlers and these are not my kids. These are invasive predators. In their mind, we're family. Or we're, and here they're trying to look at us, make us look like family, but these people are trying to take me out. And make me into a corporation. I am not a corporation with these bastards.